this year, but my wife said I probably should, because if you have seen me the last couple of years, you'll probably notice a big change. So I wanted to kind of go over that and kind of some of the journey I've had this year. So a little bit about my history. In 1999, something funny happened to me. I had 9 months of odd medical ongoings. I lost muscle mass. I saw 20-some doctors. They eventually chalked it up to I had some type of viral infection, and I eventually kind of recovered and kind of resumed normal life. Between 1999 and 2011, I never got back to where I kind of was pre then. I would tire out more easily, just at odd times. We had a 2-story house at that time. I would fatigue going up and down the stairs, just weird things. I would just get tired. I was diagnosed with social anxiety, depression, told things were all in my head. But we just kind of went along living life, and it didn't get in the way of too much at that time. Come 2011, I passed out in the morning getting ready for work. Later that year, I was diagnosed with epilepsy, and then in 2013, I finally got my POTS diagnosis from Dr. Quattromani. Again, in 2013, I stopped working and applied for Social Security disability. So that's kind of a quick synopsis of kind of my history. One of the great things that I have with me is a great support system. My wife, my 2 kids are here. We've got an open, supportive family. And I think that's really one of the keys is to be able to have a great outcome with this illness, is to have supportive people around you. And that's kind of one of our advice to everyone. So what changed this year? This is what I looked like earlier this year. So we used to tell people that I kind of looked 7 months pregnant. And after a really difficult winter, I was kind of forced out of my funk of seeing new doctors. I kind of get stubborn at times, and I would say, I'm done seeing doctors for a while. And I was kind of in that phase for a year or 2. And just kind of chalk this up to, this is what happens to my body. This is what my POTS does. But after, again, a very difficult year, we kind of had a family intervention, and they said, something's got to change. We're having too many difficulties. And so I actually went to see Dr. Warningstock, and I was diagnosed with SIBO. And you can see in about, this was March or April of this year. In about 3 months' time, I lost 45 pounds. So that's kind of a big change. Being treated with antibiotics and different herbals for the SIBO treatment. The other big thing was I cleaned up my diet, and I've been a vegetarian for many years, so I didn't have really a horrible diet to begin with, but I cut out gluten, dairy, and sugar, and my relationship, since doing the SIBO treatment, my relationship with food has really changed. I'm no longer hungry. I feel satisfied after a meal. Everything tastes different. That's probably taking out the sugar. A sweet potato tastes really sweet now. But there's still a lot of work to do. I've probably lost too much weight, and we're trying to put it back on. But kind of what I wanted to, my message that I want to get across is pay attention to your symptoms. I never really thought I had a lot of GI symptoms. I think it's when you live with them long enough, they just become your normal. So I just always thought, it was just kind of normal for me to feel crummy after eating, or have bad gas or bloat or whatever. And I had lived with it for so long that, I think when you live with those symptoms for so long, you kind of underreport them to doctors, because that's just who you are. The other thing is proper nutrition is so important. Don't overlook what you're putting into your body. And the last thing is expand your healthcare team and seek out new opinions. Create a team with your doctors as your advisors, but lead your healthcare direction. So that's a little bit about my update this year.